if they really knew.
Saw how scared the establishment dodged a bullet, how scared they got in the Jackson run at the presidency this last time, because Jackson is the first national prominent figure since I can remember who has achieved prominence and represents the interests of the people pretty directly. And the manipulations they had to go through to keep him from getting a position of in fact, power. Just to cite one example of how far they will go, this loose association of X's from the national security, we were flying to Iowa to do a hearing to try to force the candidates to tell us their policies. At that point, there were a lot of candidates. And on the plane, the day we went up there, the New York Times had a big piece on where the polls put all the candidates at that time in Iowa. And it had Simon, I think, was leading in a big front page article, and then a long discussion, Simon and Dukakis and the others and whatnot. And then you went to page 3 for the bigger article, the details, and it turns out Jesse Jackson was running a very close second. It was sort of like 33 to 31. But his name was not mentioned on the front page of the New York Times.
Well, the Times...
And inside they showed the polls, but on the front page they didn't want him to have the name recognition.
Well, the Times and all the mainstream media pretty much did a blackout on the, excuse the metaphor, on the Jackson campaign until the Super Tuesday primaries where he won, and then he became ahead, actually, after the Michigan primaries. He was the front runner, and then they had to give some attention to Jackson, and they tried to make it negative, and then Dukakis regained the momentum in the Pennsylvania, New York primaries. So that was probably the only hope, looking back.
The party machinery shifted gears at that time, scared, because Jackson was leading, and there was a chance that the people would really get excited about this thing, and that 50% control asserted itself. The party machinery asserted itself, and Jackson was pushed down, and Dukakis was run in instead. They did it by calling Jackson a radical. They said it's not racial, we have no problem with his skin color, although there would be some people in the South who wouldn't vote for him, but he's a radical, meaning he doesn't support the establishment. And they got that word out to the party, to the party hacks throughout the nation. And the result is that Jackson's, I've been wishing and hoping, like what you said, that Jackson would split off and give us a third party. And with the people that I believe would follow him, we might be able to force onto the two-party system a viable third party. And then we could, throw our block of votes to the right or the left, depending on who would give us the most real concessions. I don't think Jackson will ever get these concessions from the Democratic Party, which is where he's trying.